Hello there folks, my name is Ben and welcome to a very experimental shots fired airsoft video. Now today, you are actually mounted on my head, and I thought it was time for any direction on the channel and a bit of change. So I've decided to look like a moron with a camera on my head wandering about talking to myself, which has already spooked someone out. Now today, things are going to be a little bit different because I want to give you a proper review, not a sit down afterwards and think about it, record voiceovers, sit down and look into a camera. I want you to be behind the camera with me, behind the gun rather, and get my sort of response to a gun as I'm firing it. So your unboxing videos are still going to be down on the table because I still think that's obviously the best way of getting a good look at a gun. When it comes to the shooting review side of things, you'll be on my head with me, and you're going to see the chronograph in action, you're going to see the shooting test. The other thing that I've invested in for the channel, as well as the head rig, is this Coldwell ultimate target stand. This will enable us to do the standard shooting test in here at about 18 metres, and then when we're done with that we can take it around the side, and it's got steel spikes on the floor so I can punch it straight into the ground. Use the solar panel for distancing so I can give you 30 metre and 50 metre shooting tests. And if you've got a sniper rifle or something, it makes it so much easier to go and do like a 75-80 metre range test. Still going to have the dual shooting cams because I like that. I'm going to keep that part of the channel. Apologies if I sound weird, obviously we've got the crappy microphone in the GoPro. I haven't yet got an external microphone, but I'm also ill. I've had a chest infection this week. Luckily it wasn't Rona or anything like that, but it still put me down for a couple of days. I'm still getting over it now, so apologies for that also making you sound weird, as well as the crappy microphone. And so I'm really looking forward to getting into this, and let me know in the comments what you think about the new setup. I understand you're probably being shaken around on my head at the moment. I'll try not to move around too much when I'm speaking because I know it makes some people a bit seasick. But I say when we actually get into the firing of the guns, obviously I'm going to be pretty still, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. We still have a round up at the end and give you sort of like final thoughts on the gun. We're here today, right, move all this crap out of the way, so have the shooting test of the Double Eagle M904 that we opened up in the last video. We're going to be chronographing, we're going to be firing it at 20 metres or 18 to 20 metres, whatever this range is, and then we'll move it back to about 30, and then we'll hit a 50 as well, and we'll see what this little short, this aimed at CQB, so I will forgive it if it starts to lose its way at longer ranges, but we're going to see what this gun can do. It's got a pretty short barrel, so it'll be interesting to see how it does at longer ranges. So I'm going to get the chronograph set up, and that's when I'll see you in the next segment. Okay there folks, right, chronograph time. We're on 0.2s for the chronograph, we're on 11.1 volt LiPo. I have fired a test shot through the chronograph to make sure we're all functioning. It came up as 337.8, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put the rest through. We're going to do, it's on 10 shots at the moment, we're going to do another 10 shots, and we're going to see what that gives us in terms of FPS. As I say, we're on a 0.2 at the moment, so these are directly appropriate figures for testing. So you don't need to do any calculations based on this. 334.2, 337.8, 330.6, 334.2, 337.8, 337.8 again, 334.2, 334.2 again, 337.8, 337.8. I think the chronograph may have been having a bit of an issue there. It seems to be bouncing between 334 and 337 with repeated digits. However, so it's not the most consistent thing in the world. A decent AEG you'd be expecting to get around a 3 to 4 FPS variation. What we got there wasn't that bad. You kind of about 10 FPS. I'm slightly dubious over how accurate the chronograph is based on that, but at the same time it's not the worst thing in the world at all. I mean that is also hopping out. It's quite a good job by Bespoke Airsoft bringing it down under 350 without actually killing off the performance of the gun. Wasn't quite sure what to expect when we did that test, but yeah, all around not bad. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put more BBs in the mag, and I'm going to do a full auto test, and we'll see what the fire rate is on 11.1, and then we're going to do it on 7.4 as well, although I can highly recommend using this on 11.1 rather than 7.4. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so you're back with me. This is 11.1. Let's put a full auto burst through and see what we get in terms of rounds per minute. So that is 1,029 rounds a minute, as was recorded by the chronograph, and the last reading we've got on there is 330.6 FPS, so it looks like the FPS doesn't suffer too much. 1029 rounds a minute, I will stick a little conversion on the screen so you can see how many rounds per second that is, but it is quite a lot for a stock gun. So with that done, I'm going to put 7.4 in, we'll do the same thing again. Okay, so you're back with me. Now, I don't have a 7.4 with Dean's on it at the moment. This is the only 7.4 I have, in fact, other than the ones I run in the little Simon pistol that I did a video on a little while ago. So this is a Specna Arms 1200 mAh 7.4. It's sort of like a double stick pack. It does fit in there, but I'm running it with the adapter. This is another point for the adapter. How are you going to get all that in that tiny stock? I don't know, but whatever. I'm going to leave it dangling for the minute. Or just hanging out the back like that, because I have no intention of keeping it in here. But what we are going to do is run a couple of shots semi through. FPS should be the same. I have seen people before refer to 11.1 as increasing FPS. I can absolutely assure you this is not the case. The air system of the gun does that. All the battery does is cycle. We should have the same FPS, and indeed we do. Yeah. So if I go to full auto, I mean, you can physically hear the guns lagging a bit. So if I go around, quick burst, you can see that we've lost about 400 rounds a minute, down to 602 rounds a minute. So I'll have to give you that conversion on the screen now. But yeah, run 11.1 volt LiPo on this. It's made for it and it works well. Enough with the chronographing, let's do some actual shooting. Okay, so here we are. We should have a nice little bit of hop on there. Just going to fire one to get us sighted in, and then I'm going to fire 10 shots. There we go. Okay, that looks a little better to me. What tends to happen with these guns is that this is obviously still very new. We've given it a couple of blasts through the chronograph, a few shots of semi, and it gives time for the hop to settle down. First time I fired it, it was quite erratic on the hop. However, it does look to be getting better. Okay folks, so what you're seeing here is just the target footage of the last few firing tests. Unfortunately, I had a problem with the SD card in my little camera, which I didn't realise until after I'd finished recording, so I lost the footage from my end. It looks pretty good. It definitely cleared up as we got further through the firing tests and the hop calmed down. But anyway, we've seen enough on 0.2. Let's load the gun up with some 0.25, move ourselves out around the other side of the units. Okay folks, you're out here with me, and we are at a 30 metre range, and we're going to take a few shots. I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to try and sight in the gun. We're now over hopping dramatically, having just set the hop. Wind that back a bit. Okay, we're on the target. Just going to take a bit more hop off it. Yeah, it's difficult because it's tad inconsistent, so I'm actually having to slightly adjust, and then when I adjust to account for what the hop's doing, it seems to suddenly somewhat adjust itself, Just going to try and put a few more shots down range. So there we go, we had a good little run there. We got a good few shots on the target, and for 5 or 6 shots it was firing very consistently. We don't have much wind out here today, so it shouldn't be affecting it too much. So let's just see, I'll carry on shooting. This is sort of like the 3rd set of rounds. See like that, it's just diving straight into the floor now. I've not touched the hob at all. It's just doing random stuff of its own accord. And then it just shot way over the target. Back on again. 2 shots were good, and then the 3rd shot dived straight into the floor. Yeah, I've not adjusted the hop. It's now diving into the floor again. So if I give that a little bit more hop, we'll see what happens. Almost no difference whatsoever. It's now actually trying to dive more into the floor. A little bit more hop. Again, nothing still. A couple more tweaks of the thumb of the hop. And that's a good 100 rounds I've just put down there. So I'm just going to reload the mag up. Right, there's another good 100 rounds in the mag. Pop her back in. Make sure we've got another couple of tweaks on the thumb on the hop. Yeah, still not getting much. And that's the hop maxed out. So have we had a hop failure, do you think? Let me just wind all this hop off. Alright, so that's hop maximum off. And indeed that is pretty terrible. That's about halfway through the hop adjustment. And suddenly we appear to have a working hop again. So maybe the hop was on too far. Right, let's get serious. Here we go. Again, I'm getting a couple dipping into the floor, a couple hitting the target, and then 3 on the bounce just flying straight over the target, and I'm not adjusting this hop between these shots, so this is just the hop doing its own thing. Okay, we're now over hopping, so I'm going to remove a couple of notches of hop up and go again. That's just nice. Again, and then that shot dives straight into the floor. Good, good, good. Okay, we're having a nice little run then, and again, we've just got another one diving into the deck. I don't really know what to say, folks. The hop in this, not the best. It is a cheap gun, but really we are maybe at 30 meters, and I'm kind of struggling to see any consistency with this hop. We do get a few beautiful shots that fly lovely, exactly how you'd expect, and then it's almost like the next 5 shots you'll have reached into the gun and you've randomly messed with the hop. So not entirely sure what to make of this at the moment. What I am going to do is I'm going to cheer myself up a bit, and I'm going to have me some burst action. I don't know how many rounds we've got left in the mag, but I'm going to play with the electronic trigger unit, set myself up some burst fire, and we'll get a few recordings of that. I'm back in a sec. Okay folks, you're back with me. I've just had a little adjustment on camera angle, so it might be different. I've set it to a 3-round burst, so I'm just going to see if we can get on the target with a burst. Now, we've gone from an overhop on the first shot to rounds not reaching the target again. A few good ones there. And that's us out. So yeah, I'm going to have a little wander back to the unit. I'm not going to bother taking it out to 50 because the hop doesn't really do it for me. I think we've got a bit of a problem with consistency in the hop. Whether it's the way it's been put together, because I have heard people say that these are pretty accurate. Well, that's not what I'm getting. I am struggling to get any sort of grouping over this distance. It will fire immaculately for 3 or 4 shots, and then it will start overhopping massively. So, you know, if you go back to adjusting the hop, it will then ditch itself into the floor, and then you'll readjust, and then it will start massively overhopping again, and then it will overhop for about 3 shots, and then start ditching the shots into the ground again. So, yeah. Pleased with how the shooting setup went. When I get around to editing the footage, I'll see how it looks, and yeah, I'm going to go back around the corner and we'll have a chat about this and see what I think, which I don't know at the moment. So there, folks, we're back around the corner, and essentially what I'm going to do is give a sort of final thoughts and opinion on the M904G. I'm a little bit let down by it. I mean, as an AEG, it comes with the potential to give you an awful lot out of the box, in offering a electronic trigger unit and the programmable functions. I mean, it's 140 quid, you know, and it comes with an awful lot of things ticked. It's got an M-lock rail system, it's got the 14mm negative thread, it comes with you know, sort of polymer sights. Granted, these aren't the greatest, but at the same time, it's very much something that, you know, you can take them off and throw them away. It's a bit like getting salad in a burger. You're not paying for it really, you're paying for the burger, you just get a bit of extra. Everything, you know, the way the stock's made, everything feels really nice and put together, and it's all there to be great. Unfortunately, at the precise moment, I mean, you saw the firing test, you saw the results that I'm getting out of mine. I can't get it to hold a hop 0, and it's not like the dial was moving. The dial was staying where it is, you know. The dial was quite stiff and difficult to adjust with your finger through the side. It's not moving around, loosening off like you get on gas blowbacks and all that with the reciprocating bolt. And it's another one of these things where when you review an airsoft gun, because of the way that these things are QC'd, you're pretty much testing your own airsoft gun. Because I know that there are people who are going to be in the comments saying that theirs fires wonderfully and it's great and marvellous. Well, mine doesn't. I mean, firing consistency isn't too bad. The actual FPS, granted my chronograph is a bit odd in that it appears to measure in steps. So if it's close to 30, whatever it was, 33 point something or other, it will say 33 point something or other rather than giving you an exact amount. And if it's close to 337, but you know, it's probably doing 7 to 8 FPS difference. Not the end of the world at all, but it should be free. You know, my cheapy Cyma P90 was 3 FPS different. And yeah, the firing performance of it, the inaccuracy, you know, when I'm firing this, I've literally got it wedged in my shoulder and I'm holding it in position. It's not moving, it's not going anywhere, and everything that's going on is just the hop going, see ya. So you want to put a BB there, I'm going to send it over here, and then over here, and then up top, and then you'll adjust it, and it will send it into the floor, and you add more hop, and then it sends it into the floor for 2, and then it will come back up here, and then it will start massively overhopping. So you adjust the hop again, and it'll overhop for the first 2 shots, and then 2 more will ditch into the floor. And that is all the hop up of the gun. That is what it is related to. So, is it worth buying one? Well, I think it is, to be honest. But you got to get in there and sort that hop out. If yours is like mine out of the box. I've had people say these are very accurate out of the box. This is less accurate than my Golden Eagle gas blowback gun is. That would have easily outshot that today. As it is, this would be outshot by a 150 quid gas blowback gun, which, I've had cheaper Cyma AEGs that will easily outclass this in accuracy at the moment. Again, I'm not saying it's all of them. What I'm saying is that, unfortunately, it goes to show that you're always taking a chance buying a cheaper gun. And I know that, and I review mainly cheaper guns, and you can go back through my back catalogue of videos and you'll see disappointments that I've had in the past, and I'm afraid that this goes down as yet another one. I love the way it's built, I love the way it feels, I love the fact it's full polymer. I just love full polymer guns. I mean, the proper polymer guns, not like ABS plastic. I mean, this is like a proper nylon reinforced. It feels stout, like you if you got a real polymer weapon, like a real steel polymer weapon. But unfortunately, it's I don't know. I'll see what happens with this. I might have a look at sticking a hop and a barrel in it, and then we'll come back and do another test. But I kind of feel like I shouldn't have to. But I do feel the other features of the weapon do make it worth it, and so I'm kind of willing to give it a pass on this and give it another chance at a decent review with maybe an updated hop and barrel setup in it, and just see what's cracking with that. So sorry about the slightly downhearted end to the video there, but I thought this was going to be a lot better than it is, and that's the brutal truth. So thank you for putting up with a wonky headcam for today, and if you made it to the end of the video without being sick. And let me know what you think in the comments. I can improve the sound quality on these videos, I can improve the camera itself, because this is a very old, very cheap, action camera, fake GoPro. And let me know what you think. But I've got some exciting stuff coming up on the channel. I've got the first Tokyo Mirai gun that's ever been on the channel, which will be here shortly. And we also have some very trick new technology from a British maker to update that high cap 4.3 that we're getting from Tokyo Mirai. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in those videos hopefully. Thank you very much, and goodbye.